Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest. She'll be learning how to breathe.
Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another video. As you guys can tell by the title, this video is going to be for all of my people whose mind feels super loud, your body is tense, you don't even feel safe even when you pray. Yeah, this one is for you. In this video, we're gonna learn about how you're not crazy, there's nothing wrong with you, you're just a little bit dysregulated. We're gonna talk about our nervous system and how Jesus can help us to reset it. We're also going to talk about what exactly is wrong with it so we can pinpoint why we're feeling so anxious all the time, why we're feeling so overwhelmed, and we can finally speak to the inner parts of ourselves that just want to feel peace that Jesus promised us again. So we're not gonna ramble too much, we're going to get right into it. First things first, I want to share a little mini testimony with you guys about how trauma has specifically impacted my life and dysregulated my own nervous system. For about 2.5 years, I was a full-time caregiver for my mom, who has now passed away. As you guys can imagine, that was not easy. My days looked like having to tend to her hand and foot for hours on end. I wasn't getting any rest, and obviously, of course, it was impacting me mentally to just see what she was going through and not being able to do much about it. At the same time, my family and I were going through a lot of other additional challenges that were just stacking on top of that daily trauma that I was facing. For a really long time, I did not understand how the natural of that situation was also impacting me spiritually. It wasn't until this year, a whole year after my mom passed, that God actually started to show me how my nervous system was impacted by trauma and why I'm still living as though I'm in that situation, even though my situation has changed. Core message of this video is that Jesus isn't just a heart healer, he is a heart, mind, body, and soul regulator. And we're going to talk about how he can restore your peace from the inside out. So let's get into the nervous system basics. You have your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight response. This is the thing that is triggered if a bear is chasing you. We are going to use this bear analogy throughout this whole entire video, so get used to it. If a bear is chasing you, you are automatically going to be like, I need to get out of here. I don't care if I'm tired, I'm going to run for my life. Your sympathetic nervous system gives your body that adrenaline and that energy to get through the moment. Your parasympathetic nervous system is your relaxation, your deep breath, your calm, your regulator. This is when the bear is no longer chasing you and you are 100% sure that you have made it to safety and you are thankful that you got out of that situation. Naturally, we are only supposed to stay in that sympathetic state for a short period of time before our parasympathetic state takes over for the majority of our life. But when trauma comes into our lives, what happens is we end up staying permanently in this sympathetic state of mind. So this is why even in church, even in prayer, even in worship, you're super hyper vigilant. It's hard for you to focus and lock in. You're thinking about who's looking at you. There is no peace and there is no rest because you are still in fight or flight mode. Basically, you're interpreting life as a threat even when there is nothing around you that could possibly harm you. Obviously, that's a problem, but let's talk about why it's a problem and how it really impacts you. So number one, chronic sympathetic nervous system causes racing thoughts, insomnia, and fatigue. So this means your thoughts are going a million miles a minute. You can never catch up. You never think about it enough. You're always overthinking. You're always overwhelmed with what's on your mind, and it's really hard to even get those thoughts out. You have insomnia, which means it's really hard for you to go to sleep. And a lot of this is going to be attributed to the fact that your mind is always running. Your thoughts are always racing. Sleep almost feels like you're giving yourself a break to stop thinking, and you don't think that you can afford to do that. And then lastly, fatigue. This comes from even if you do get a full night of sleep, you wake up and you still feel tired. You don't feel rested at all. You're working on low energy and you have no idea why, because you're not doing anything that should make you this tired. But what it is your body is literally living in a fight or flight survival mode 24/7. It takes a lot from your organs, it takes a lot from your breath and your breathing to be able to live like this, and that's why you're so tired. The next thing that this does is it makes you feel numb and it makes you overwhelmed by very small things. Living in your sympathetic nervous system for too long starts to harden your heart. And guys, we know that the Bible tells us about not having a hardened heart when we hear the voice of the Lord, and that the Lord comes to soften our hearts. But when you're living in survival mode, your heart becomes hardened because you're just trying to get through the moment. But when you start living that way, life becomes a moment. And so you become hardened to everything in your life that you can experience. This is why it may be difficult to cry. This is why it may not feel safe to fully express your emotions. It seems as though you're breezing past a lot of traumatic things without it affecting you, but it's really because you have hardened your heart. You also get overwhelmed by small things because, again, you're living as though there is a bear chasing you. Imagine that for a second. If you really believe that there is an animal that can kill you right behind you, you are going to be on go. The only thing you're going to be thinking about is, how can I get away from this animal? So imagine if you're running from an animal and a kid comes up to you just to say hello. It's gonna stress you out because I'm not trying to talk to you right now, kid. Don't you see this bear behind me that is chasing me? That is the state that your mind and your body is in 24/7. So it's not that you're lazy. It's not that you have poor organization skills. You're just living in fight or flight response. And so that's why everything is tipping you over the edge. And lastly, you're really struggling to connect spiritually or emotionally. You have relationships in your life, you have people around you, you even have a relationship with the Lord, but you haven't let people into the depths of you. And it's because you really don't know how. You haven't explored these depths of what's actually under the surface of that hardened heart of yours, yourself. So you don't even feel safe enough to let people in. You have to explore first what's going on with you underneath the surface. What have you not addressed? How has this trauma, typically tend to blame ourselves for that because we're doing something wrong. But you are doing nothing wrong. God is just looking to attack that heart of yours, and you have to be ready to let him do that. He's not going to skip over this step and go to anything else because he knows that he has to prepare you for being able to live again and feel safe and know that there is not a bear that's going to come and wreck everything that he has in store for you. You actually are safe. That season really is over. There's a season and a time for everything, and now it's your turn to live safe and regulated. Here's how we are going to reset our nervous system and live in our parasympathetic rather than our sympathetic. And yes, we're going to invite Jesus into this process. So number one is you need to believe that you are safe. You literally can say that out loud. I am safe. God has delivered me from my old season. My trauma does not define me. God has used my trauma from my situation to build what he needed to build in me, and now it is time to live it out. Saying these things out loud daily, even throughout the day, is very, very helpful. Your mind needs to believe that you are now safe. Number two is breathing. Something else that living in a permanent sympathetic state does is it compresses your breathing because you're taking really quick, shallow breaths like this. You may not even realize it, but you're not actually breathing enough to even get enough oxygen to your brain. If you've been struggling to memorize scriptures, if you've been struggling to remember basic things, or to even think clearly, to digest your food better, it's actually because your body's not getting enough oxygen. Did you guys know that you're supposed to exhale longer than you inhale? Because I did not know that, and I definitely have not been doing that. A practical thing that we're going to do is start paying attention to our breathing. This is not something that I want to overwhelm you with. It's not something that you have to be thinking about all day, every day, but take some intentional time, maybe just 5 minutes, to focus on intentional breathing. Inhaling for 3 seconds, exhaling for 5 seconds. Let's do it together. Inhale, exhale. And you should be breathing from your diaphragm, and it's gonna feel like it's coming from somewhere over here. So you don't wanna be breathing from your throat, those really quick breaths. That is triggering your sympathetic nervous system. What you wanna do is intentionally trigger that parasympathetic. So you wanna take a deep inhale from your diaphragm and exhale slowly. It seems like it's small, but I promise you guys, it changes the game over time. Next, we can invite Jesus into these prayers. So you can inhale and say something about Jesus and exhale what it is that you want to let go based on that truth. For example, if I inhale and I say, Jesus is my savior. When I exhale, I'm gonna say, I'm letting go of everything that makes me feel unsafe. You can come up with your own wording in your own language, whatever Jesus is to you. He's everything to us. He's so many things to us. But you say what it is that you're feeling in that moment. You know what makes you feel the most unsafe. You know what makes you feel the most insecure. Think about what Jesus is in comparison to that thing and come up with your own words. The last thing that you can do with this prayer is you can add scripture to it. You can inhale, be still, and you can exhale and know that he is God. You can do this for like 5 minutes every day. You can do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. You can combine these different ideas together. Do whatever works for you, but do not add pressure to yourself, because this is not meant to be something that you strive to do. It's something that you're learning to surrender. You need to know that God understands exactly where you are, that this is new to you, and he's not trying to change your life around in 5 minutes. Even though he can, he is patient with us. He's understanding and he's compassionate, and the more we lean into that, the quicker we can see ourselves regulated again. The next thing, which is probably the most difficult thing for me, sit in silence. I am somebody who loves to have distractions. I love to have some music playing in the background. I love to have the TV on. I'm not even paying attention to it. I love to be on the phone with those that I love talking to every day. I do not like silence. The reason why we don't like silence is because it gives our mind space to think. And if you are someone who is constantly overwhelmed, constantly overthinking, constantly anxious, you don't want space for your mind to lean into that. So you fill the void with distractions and with idols. But the problem with that is we are not supposed to have idols, and when we have a bunch of distractions, it takes our focus away from our Father. In order to fix that, we have to intentionally sit in silence and invite him into that space. Again, this is not something that you have to start out doing for a whole entire hour. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Set a timer for 3 minutes where you are just sitting, thinking about the Lord, inviting him into this space, listening for him and his stillness and his calm and quiet yet so powerful and life-changing voice. It's really, really difficult to hear that, and it's really, really difficult to feel safe in that when we've always got a whole bunch of other noise going on. I know that it's comforting. I know that it makes you feel super safe and secure, but idols and distractions are not solid enough of a foundation for you to re-regulate your life and re-regulate your nervous system. You'll always be depending on people, TV, and music to make it through life, and that's not sustaining at all. So one of the reasons why you don't feel safe is because you aren't depending on something that is secure enough. And the thing that is secure enough as believers is God. It's our Father. So we gotta rethrone him where he needs to be in our lives. Lastly, you guys, I just want to encourage you to know that this is not a one-time fix-all. This may not even be a 1 week or a 1 month fix-all. But please understand that if you start today, tomorrow you'll be better than you were today. Next week, you'll be better than you were the week before. Next month, you'll be better than you were the month before. It's all about progress, and you have to start somewhere. Be patient with yourself. Patience is a fruit of the Spirit, and we tend to always practice it with other people, but not with ourselves. We are our biggest critics. We show ourselves no grace, even though we have a Father who extends grace to us daily. This is a start. You have recognized what's going on with you. Now you have context for what's going on with you, and you have some tools to help you get back on track. It really doesn't get any better than that. You are winning today already. I want you to invite the Holy Spirit into your nervous system, not just in your quiet time. The beautiful thing about doing life with God is that even after we close our Bibles and we turn off the worship video on our TV, God is still with us, and he wants to be present in every part of us with every single piece of what's going on with us. So don't think that this is a part of your life that God does not care about and that God can't move in. I pray that you guys enjoyed this this video. If you did, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below about what was helpful for you and what else you guys may want to talk about concerning this topic. On this healing journey, on this becoming woman, safe, mature, softened heart, just being a dad's girl. This is a really great place to be, and I'm so excited to keep sharing with you guys what God has shared with me. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah!
Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest. She'll be learning how to breathe.